Welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I got most of the wiring finished for the dash of the Charger. And today I need to just loom everything and extend some wires and then route everything. So it's going to the back fuse box, but I don't have the pins for the connector yet. So I need to figure out what pins go in this connector, but temporarily I'm going to connect everything so it runs to the back, and I should be able to power all the display and all that stuff up, make sure it works, and kind of move forward. So I'm not just waiting on the pins, and then I could come in later on and then just cut the wires, crimp pins in, put them in the connector, and I'll leave a little bit of excess there so I can do that so there's not any issues later on down the road. There are some pins that are ready to go in this connector because I did use some of the stock Charger wiring coming from the back fuse box, but there is a lot of Durango harness in this dash, and then there's also Challenger harness in the center console, which I had to find pins for that connector as well because there was a bunch of flip-flop pins and I needed everything to work correctly. Plus I rerouted some wiring, which I didn't like how some of the wiring for the Charger center console, it came around here, looped around the back. Now it's going into the dash harness. A lot cleaner, a lot shorter wiring, a lot better routing of the wiring. So let's get to work on this. Finally get the interior finally finished. It won't be 100%, but it will be usable until I get those pins. Then in the next video, I'm going to drop down the engine. Gonna make all the brake lines because I need to make custom brake lines for this thing because I'm using the Durango ABS pump, and then I could finish wiring up the engine, which should go relatively quick. I just need to really wire up this passenger side because the Durango had the ECU in the front, the Charger has the ECU in the back. It's just kind of a catastrophe, but we're getting it resolved and I'm working through it. So let's wrap this whole situation up. excited that I'm finally to a point where I'm wrapping everything up with zip ties, because this project has literally been killing me. I've been working on this for a month nonstop, and it just has been super tedious trying to keep every system in the car from the Durango Hellcat, minus some of the stuff that I really didn't care about having, like the rear headrest TVs and stuff like that. But it just is really reassuring to finally be able to see the floor. Another thing was I was finding places to mount the modules. We have the transfer case control module in the stock charger spot. We have all the wiring for the transfer case system right there, but I need to shorten that. All of the 3 speakers in the dash, I need to shorten all the wiring for that. All the dash wiring is complete besides shortening stuff and repinning some stuff for the center console, because I'm using the Challenger center console. So and then on the passenger side, that plug right there, I need to get pins to pin out that with all of the wires that are going to run through that. But the passenger side, I did run out of zip ties. I've probably used about 2,000. So I need to zip tie all that stuff up over there. The hatch wiring, I started zip tying it, I ran out. So that rat's nest right there needs to be zip tied, and it'll go to the hatch, which is really reassuring that that is finally done as well. And I need to connect a few grounds, but on the driver's side, all of the grounds are connected. I have the Challenger sub, so I'm really excited about having that. I really like the Challenger sub, and I just think it fits very well. It just sits in the spare tire well, which on a Hellcat, you can't fit a spare tire in here anyway. We have the battery back there. I have the ELSD module. I need to make a bracket for that. I have the ParkSense module in the stock location. Then over here, I mounted the amp, and then I have the RF module. So I have a bracket I 3D printed for the amp, but for the RF module, I need to design a bracket, 3D print it, make sure it's going to fit. Then I'll have Send cut out those 2 brackets, the bracket for the transfer case control module, then the bracket for the fuse box. So my fuse box is right there. A really nice spot while keeping the subs. I know there's supposed to be like that air pump that goes there, but I've never had one, and I really don't see the reason to have one. If your tire blows out, just have AAA. So, and then in the back, I think I maybe talked about that. That's a ELSD locker. And then we have all the wires going to the battery, all the tail lights, the hatch wiring right there, which is really simple. And I'm really excited to finally get all this stuff tidied up. I have all the wiring for the speakers. All this wiring right here is from the amp to the subs. It's just crazy how much excess wiring there is. But I'm going to shorten all that over here. Look at that. That's all nice and tidy. Look at that. All the way down, and the hatch wiring, which just needs to be tied. We're excited that she is finally so close to being finished with the wiring. In the next video, I need to make all the stainless steel brake lines. Like I've said before, I had to use the Durango Hellcat ABS pump, and all the fittings are different sizes. So I'm gonna make stainless steel brake lines. Should go really quick. Once those brake lines are made, I can do the rest of the wiring on the engine, which is going to be really easy because I'm just swapping Hellcat wiring from that Hellcat engine that I got that had a cut-up harness, but it's going to work perfectly, over to the Durango, because the Durango has the ECU and everything in the different position, so it wasn't really going to work. So I'm going to end the video here. I cannot wait to finally hear this car start up. I know multiple people that watch the videos can say the same. But if you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.